pop right up here. Why'd you get on my lap like that? Let's put this under here. Stop, stop. I'm trying to shush. Oh my gosh. You are the worst. You know that, right? You know that you are the worst, right? Yes, you're a good dog. Do you think we look alike? Yeah? We both got some love handles. Yes, we do. And some gray hairs. See those gray hairs? Yeah, those are gray hairs. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to Fibertown. My name is Emily and I'm taking a big risk recording a podcast at 4 p.m. on Thursday, the 7th of December. Happy birthday to my mother. I don't know if she's watching. I think she watches sometimes. But happy birthday. Welcome to everyone, even if it's not your birthday. I'm so glad you're here. I love chatting with you all. I love hearing from you. I love hearing from you on YouTube, in the Ravelry group, on Instagram. So thank you for connecting. So today I hopefully have a short show, although I think I said that last week and it turned out a bit longer than I anticipated. So I have several FOs today. I have works in progress, sewing and spinning. Okay, let's talk about this one. I'm wearing it. And the collar is just not behaving, but that's okay. This is my Bruntsfield vest by Isolde Teague. It's done. I'm happy with it. I feel very preppy. This is not my usual look, but here it is. This is the Bruntsfield. It's knit out of Jamieson and Smith mainly. The purple was Jamieson of Shetland Spindrift. So the rest was Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight from the Woolly Thistle, and then the purple Jamieson of Shetland was Deep Deep Stash. So this gave me a lot of opportunities for learning, and I eventually, as you know, recut the armholes about 1.5 inches in. Can you imagine? They were super bulky seams, and they were over sort of the crest of my shoulder. Is that a thing? Your shoulder crest? I just made it a thing. So I'm very happy. It really looks great now. I want to pair it with my Hollyburn skirt. And I do have to work on, I'll probably just have to change because I can't focus on looking at myself with this shirt doing what it's doing. Yeah. So the other thing I finished, which I should probably change into right now, is my Starfall sweater. This is by Jennifer Steingass, and it's a colorwork yoke. So this has errors. I pointed out last time. I see the color work changes from this to that. I'm just leaving it. It's fine. I also, user error, misinterpreted, I guess is the word, the pattern. This gold color should have been the main color in the yoke. And for some reason I switched to a green. So here's the yoke up close. This gray, the main color is DuPont Circle DK. It's the Loot Bespoke yarn. It's Romney from the Hudson Valley, 100%. And it's a really lovely yarn. This was the Ren and Ollie colorway. And then everything else in here is Blacker Yarns Gotland DK. So I have fog was the green color, thunder is the brown, lightning is the gold. And I didn't do the I-cord bind off that she recommends. I may go back and change that. The reason was I knew my row gauge was too high and that the yoke was sitting quite high. I might change and come back and show you what it looks like. But then we'll see. You know what? I'll put in a picture at the beginning because I'll get way too hot if I do that. So it was a super fast knit, very enjoyable. There were a few rows. And everywhere there was color work. There were probably fewer than a dozen through the whole sweater, but I'm talking about rows with 3 colors. You have to be more deliberate about where you're catching floats and which yarns are in which order in your hands. So that just slows you down. It's not hard, but it does require a bit of thought for float management, and it is slower. So for example, these rows right here, we've got gray, green, and gold. These rows up here, these rows up here. Yeah, but all in all, I'm very happy with it. The sleeves are a bit long, and I could sort of cut somewhere and take out some of the bulk and graft them, but I think it's super cozy the way it is. It's meant to be like an outdoor sweater. I'm gonna wear it under, I have sort of a puffy vest. So when it's really cold and I wanna go for a walk, I'll wear my puffy vest and the starfall underneath for sleeve warmth, and then it'll come down over my hands for extra warmth on my hands. So those are 2, sorry, I'm looking for my third FO. Here it is. My car socks, they're finished. I don't recall when they went on the needles, but they are off the needles. These are out of an opal yarn, and they're not, you can see the ends are not woven in. It's my usual recipe. I have been knitting this. This is my emergency knitting for the past at least a year, possibly a year and a half. I think these are going to go in someone's Christmas stocking this year, probably my son. I kind of want them for me though, but it's okay. He loves yarn, hand knit socks. He's knitworthy. Isn't that fun? I don't know what the colorway is. It was given to me by a fairy yarn mother. I can't remember her Rav name. I think it had quilt in it. She was an amazing fairy yarn mother. So thank you. So let's move on to whips. I have my breezy cardigan back on the needles. This is in one of my handmade bags. And this is a cardigan by Hannah Fettig. She is well known for raglan construction. I have a breezy cardigan that I should really repair. I've spoken about it before out of Volmisa lace. Now this one is out of St. Kilda lace weight. This is another blacker yarn. Let me show you. It's the first ball. I have 2 more. Oh goodness. There's the ball band, St. Kilda. This is from Soe and Borere and a little bit of Shetland blended in, I think. Is there Shetland in there too? I'm reading the ball band right now. Yes. So extremely rare primitive breeds from the island of St. Kilda in the Outer Hebrides. Really fascinating. If you can learn about these islands, they're just fascinating. So it's an extremely useful cardigan. I've gotten a ton of wear out of my first one, so it bears repeating. Now the Breezy has giant front panels with lots of extra stitches that you can wrap around you, and I've wrapped around my kids while I'm wearing this sweater. It's like a sweater built for 2. Now that means massive purl back rows. And I already didn't like doing the purl back rows just on the top. I haven't separated for the sleeves yet. This is how much I knit since last time. This is my Progress Keeper, which I adore. This is from a homespun house, Sucre Miniatures. I don't order stuff from overseas very much, but this was exclusive to her, and I really loved it. It's Hagrid's birthday cake to Harry, which is just sentimental to me. So yeah, so I've knit a fair bit. And I was going to join in the round, you might notice I already have, Was going to join in the round after I separated for the sleeves, but I couldn't take the purling. I just couldn't take it. We're talking hundreds of purl back stitches. So I put in a steek in the middle of the thing. I just cast on 7 stitches, and yeah, I'll have a 7-stitch steek. That's fun to say. Say that 5 times fast. 7-stitch steek, 7-stitch steek. No, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, but it makes this thing just fly. It just flies. And I think I'm knitting this on US 6s, which are 4 millimeters. Is that right? Yes, my Chowgoos, fixed circulars. So it's making it much more enjoyable. Now, there is a giant band of ribbing that goes around the whole circumference of the sweater, inner and outer, which makes me think of the Hebrides, which is funny. Maybe only to me, but it is funny to me. But yeah, I'm very excited now. I think that I'll be inspired to pick this up more often if I don't have to purl back. And I saw my friend Leanne wearing her black breezy cardigan that she recently finished out of Miss Bab's lace weight, and it looked fabulous, and kudos to her for knitting a gigantic lace weight black sweater. So what else do I have on the needles? Oh, I do have this swatch ready to go. This is my tuku wool for my Birkin. Now I know it's a tiny swatch, but it's cool, you know. I'm gonna do the color work on US 5s, and let's see, I sort of stranded back there. The rest of it will be on US 4s. I got gauge. When does that ever happen right off the bat? My first needle guess got me gauge. And yeah, the color work is a bit tight, but that's again because of this kind of stranding. Probably wasn't enough